Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome. How are we doing? Woo! How's everybody feeling today? What's been happening? I am trying to get my cards going. Hi, guys. Oh, hi, guys. From the UK, Jane. Welcome. So nice to meet you. Love it. Ooh la la. Happy full moon, everybody. Ooh, okay. You want to come out? All right. Okay. Oh my God, 2 from the UK. Johnny, welcome. That's amazing. 3. Yo, what's going on here? This is awesome. Maybe it's a sign I need to go to the UK, you guys. Oh, welcome, guys. Sydney. Hey, Jess. Maudi. Is it Maudi? I hope I'm saying it right. Hello, welcome. So nice to have you guys here. Like I said, happy full moon. I did a ritual yesterday. It was my first live ritual, which was interesting. Yeah, it was fun. I did it at the Owl's Nest. I did it here on Insight Timer. So for those of you who missed out, you missed out. Hey, Jen. Yeah, but it was fun. It was powerful. I worked with the energy of fire, which I've never done before, and it inspired a whole new chapter of things to come out. But yeah, it was very heartwarming because I did it at the Owl's Nest at the yurt, and there were people there as well as like Instagram, and I had Insight Timer going at the same time. And one of the people in the yurt had something going on, and we had a very cool breakthrough after the meditation that we did. So it was really cool. And I feel really good today. I had a really good night's sleep. And dreams maybe not so much. They were kind of messed up. I was in a building and the building was collapsing. But apart from that, everything was great. But I hope you guys are doing well. I hope everything is good. I hope that the full moon hasn't been too much energetically. It is a powerful full moon. So I'm just waiting for a few more people to join. I do have oh my God, I cannot speak. This happens every time when I try to put. See, I can't do it. I give up. I'm just not going to talk anymore, you guys. So, what I'm trying to say is that I'm just waiting for a few more people. North Carolina. Hey, Julie, to join before we begin. So, quick little tidbit for those of you who are new. How it works is very simple. So, I'm going to start off with a group reading so everybody gets something. And then after that, if people want to donate, essentially, if you do give a donation, you just go at the top of the list and you get a longer reading. And if nobody does, that's totally fine. I will just start answering questions. But that's essentially how it works. So we'll give it a couple more minutes. But how's everybody doing? North Carolina, are you affected, by the way, by the whole North Carolina situation? Was it North Carolina? Sorry, I don't really watch the news. I'm terrible. But I do know that there was something happening in North Carolina. But I might be wrong here. Excuse my ignorance. I try to avoid the news as much as I can because it affects me. But yeah, guys. Oh, I love the tea. I started to drink chai again. I wasn't affected by the floods, that's it. But I don't watch the news or listen to it either. Yeah. You know, my mom used to give me like so much shit for it. She was just like, how can you not watch the news? How do you know what's going on in the world? And I'm like, trust me, you're going to find out if something's going on. But yeah, I was just like, nope, I don't want to watch it. It affects me. It's just a whole bunch of negativity. I don't know why the news stations don't balance it out a little bit with like some positive news. Like, why does it always have to be negative? Positive could also be like, good news, everybody. Maybe they should do a channel where it's called the Good News Channel, where they only give you like good news and good information. That would be cool. All right, so let's begin, guys. So just taking a moment. Yep, I haven't watched the news since T was elected the first time. Oh, I got you. Yeah, he does tend to cause a lot of drama, but that's also just the news, you know. So, when you guys are ready, I'm going to donate on your page. May I have a reading, please? Sure, Jen. I'm not sure what the donation on the page is, though. Oh, thank you, Johnny. I only know that you, as far as I know, I think the main page. So it's kind of the same thing if you do it here or there. But yeah, because I think somebody said that and then I never saw it. So I'm not quite sure how that works, because if you donate here, it does automatically donate on my page. There's a good news today. Song by Anne Murray. I have an iOS. Oh, okay. And deduct from what I give you. Oh, I see. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. But yeah, no. I know they do take the 30%, but it is what it is. I'm not too worried about it. Julie, thank you. But I'll put you in, Jen. No stress. I gotcha. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. All right, so let's. Oh, I love that. So let's take a moment. Just close your eyes and just open up your energy and just send me your spiritual team to send me any information, anything that you wish to receive at this time so that I can get a reading for the collective, and then I will go through the donations. I'm just going to center my energy because I tend to get chaotic when I do these things because I got too much information coming in at once. Okay, these guys want to come through. Oh, thanks, Jen. I got you down anyway, but I trust you. Yeah, I'm just not sure the whole donation thing. But no stress. Don't expect it anyway, but I appreciate it. I got you down. So I've got so far Johnny, Julie, and Jen, by the way. All right, guys, so let's see what's coming up for the group. All right. Okay. Keep your eyes on the big picture. Leave the details to other. Experience that leads to success. Genuine concern for others. So, lots of J's. Yes, Johnny. It's a J. And my name's Jacqueline. What do you know? And a lot of UK people too, which is interesting. So, what I'm getting here, guys, is that there's actually more so to do with success or career or anything like that, which is always, of course, in the minds of us. But what I'm really getting here is actually a lot of you are concerned for someone else. There's like this worry about somebody's maybe well-being, somebody's decisions, like the decisions that they're making or lack thereof. There is something about caring for somebody and just kind of going, shit, you know, are they going to be okay? Could also be like, I'm even getting like somebody maybe might have some health issues, or just in general, just being kind of like a warrior, like, you know, I'm worried about this and that, and projecting that energy outwards as opposed to putting that energy inwards. So one of the things that they're saying that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Breathe a sigh of relief and make new plans, relocation or travel. But what really that means is that change is going to happen. So if there is a concern about somebody, they're saying don't worry. But at the same time, change and relocation can also be a change of a situation. So it really depends on the situation. This is the hard thing about doing a group reading, because one could mean one and one could mean the other, right? But ultimately, the point of this reading today is like, guys, stop focusing on other people. Yes, it's okay to be worried. Hey, Tolkien, nice to see you. It's okay to have that for other people. But at the end of the day, when we project our worries onto others, there's like this sense of like, I'm trying to fix you to fix me. I'm trying to, hey Sharon, welcome. I'm trying to put my energy onto you. So essentially I don't have to focus on my energy. So what is asking about here is like kind of to look within and ask yourself why. And of course we care about people. I'm not trying to say that we don't worry about people, but I've known a lot of people who never look at themselves and constantly are focused on everybody else and trying to fix everybody else, and not realizing that that's essentially what they're trying to do. They're trying to save themselves through other people. EI, good to see you, or A, or E. Yes, Sharon. So right now I have 3 people who have given a donation, so they're just at the top of the list. And then after that, if you hang around, I'd be happy to give you a reading. Essentially, who gives a donation just basically lock their position in there, and they get a longer reading. So we can get to you though if you just hang around, and then I'll just do a shorter reading for anybody who doesn't give a donation, just so you know. So yeah, very straightforward. Let me get a little, because I know this card wanted to say something too. Give me 1 second. So right now I'm giving a group reading for those of you who've just joined. See, it's always 3 that fall out. Isn't that interesting? So assertiveness came out as well. So this situation can be healed gently with love as you've requested, yet there's also a need for your strength and truthfulness with the other people involved. So again, I'm getting somebody else involved in the situation, right? We will stand right behind you as you speak your truth, giving your strength and guiding your words. Yeah, it's a tricky one because I'm getting, for some of you, that's also what you need to do. But for some of you in this situation, it's also about, like it said, speaking your truth, telling them the truth of the situation, telling them what you really think and feel. So a lot of you are actually holding back, holding your tongues on, and it comes down, really, it's funny, this is the argument that I had with my husband last night. Oftentimes we are afraid to say what we feel or think in the moment because we're like, well, I don't want to hurt their feelings. But the truth of the matter is that deep down, you're holding back because you don't want to deal with the confrontation. Yes, there is a little bit of about not wanting to hurt their feelings, but ultimately there's a part of us that is like, oh, I don't want to rock the boat because then I have to deal with the consequences of that. So that's also the introspection that they're asking to look at, is like, are your intentions really for the other person, or are they really deep down? And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way, guys. We all do that. So it's just important to just be aware of that, though, that we have that in us. So I'm just reading. So again, steady progress. So this is not something that they're expecting you to be able to change, to manage, to all of a sudden just make these changes within yourself and for others in a second. This is like a process. This is something that you're learning to do. And then the other thing is new partner came in, but a new connection. So they're also really saying that a new connection with somebody, or whatever's going on, it's not by chance. It's happening for a reason. So again, this is a general reading, guys. So you got to also think about what's coming up for you as I'm saying this, because it might not necessarily be with a specific person, but it might be with a job, or it might be with a situation that you're in, okay? So always take that into consideration, because there's a lot of you and it's hard to pinpoint one person, especially today. Usually the collective is a little bit more in alignment, but today I feel like there's multiple different things happening. Anything else? Nope, that's pretty much it, I think. So, yeah, I hope that made sense. It was an interesting group reading. I hope that made sense. But essentially what the final message here is to really just look at the situation from a higher perspective, in the sense of, if I'm not speaking my truth, then why? What am I afraid of? And don't listen to the ego response, because the ego is going to say, oh, because, obviously I don't want to hurt the other person. So this is what happened with my husband yesterday, because I know what triggers him. And it, honestly, it's sometimes the dumbest shit, but I know it stems from trauma. So when I notice any time that he's holding his tongue back from speaking his truth, I tell him, I confront him immediately, because that's what he needs to do for himself, really. And I told him, I was like, hey, so are you upset with me? Because I can't even remember what it was about. It's just like, he's not a very good communicator sometimes, but he's a great listener. So I think we were cooking, and we were making food for the animals, and I told him, oh, can you get the thing in the... And then I didn't finish my sentence because I was doing something else. And then he ed mad at me because I got frustrated, because I was like, oh, why didn't you get the thing? Not a big emotional reaction, by the way. It was just more like, oh, why didn't you get the thing? It was really over vegetables, right? So in the car, I'm noticing he's quiet, and I'm just like, what's going on? I was like, what are you mad about? Of course, I didn't click. It was about the freaking vegetables. Like, well, you didn't finish the sentence and this. And I'm like, Carl, why didn't you say, hey, babe, you didn't finish the sentence? So he does this, and I said, the problem is, if you don't speak up, you're going to get resentful, and then you're going to have little snarky comments throughout the night because you got frustrated over something, which I know it's a trigger, but you can't blame me for your lack of communication. And I was like, why do you hold your tongue back? And he was like, well, I'm like, are you afraid of my reaction? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, but you're also projecting your assumption of how I'm going to react. Also, I'm not going to react that bad over freaking vegetables. Like, so I'm like, could it be that you're more afraid of the fact that you get uncomfortable in this situation? This is really about how you feel. And he was like, maybe. So anyway, it's just interesting how that happens, right? So communication, essentially, maybe it's coming up also. Maybe that's why I'm sharing that story, but whatever. All right, guys, I digress. So, Johnny, sup? How's it going? I want to make sure that I got everybody, by the way. Hey guys, everybody who's just joined. I see you. Okay, good. So Johnny, what's your question and how can I help you? Let me do this, close the energy. So, good. That's good. I would like, oh, hey Melinda, how you doing? I would like some guidance on an application I am doing to renew some funding. I seem to be blocking it and or procrastinating on it. Okay, so you have resistance essentially showing up. All right, cool. Oh, okay, straight away my eyes went to this. So let's see what's going on. See, even communication with yourself, by the way, is coming up. So that actually does kind of relate to what we're saying. Interesting. Ooh. Johnny, very interesting. So I actually got download on this. So you come into your own new partnership or contracts. Continue to move forward. So the first thing that they're encouraging you is that yes, this is okay, this is safe, you should definitely move forward with this. A leap of faith, follow your dreams, unexpected opportunities. So again, they're reassuring you that this is the right thing to do and you know this is the right thing to do. Lavish abundance, give birth to your dreams, nurture yourself and others. So a couple of things that came up here. This is something that you've obviously been working on for quite some time, that you've been building, and it's aligning for you. And it's funny, the numbers are 0, 2, 3, so it's 5 change. But what I got is that the block that you're talking about is essentially, you know this is going to change things for you. You know it's going to create a shift in the finances as well, and there is a fear there. There is a subconscious pattern. So the old Johnny is showing up because he doesn't feel safe in the change. Now, I hope I'm wording this the right way. The ego does not like change, okay? So when we know that a big change is coming, there are parts of us that are going to resist it because those parts essentially do not feel safe in the new version of you that's changed. The new version of you that's changed is going to be bolder. It's going to have more to manage. It's going to have a lot more responsibilities. There's contracts involved, so there's also resistance to contracts here, I think. There's something about working with others in contracts that might have a little bit of resistance there because of probably past experiences that you've had. And this is requiring you really to take a leap of faith, right? To really step out of your comfort zone, and you're doing something that is like risky in a way. There's like a level of risk involved. But at the same time, you know it's the right thing. You build up to this, you've been working towards this, and now you're finally there, and now it's like, shit, what if everything goes wrong? What if the people that I'm working with screw me over? What if the money doesn't come back? Whatever it is, that the thing that is going on in the background, right? And this is usually the ego talking. The ego's showing up because essentially it doesn't want the change. And you got to understand that when we change our finances, it changes who we are. It unless you tilt back to who you are, and then your finances essentially go back to where they were. This is why people make money and lose money. So the change is not just about what's happening on the outside for you. It's really the changes that are happening internally. And like I said, there is resistance. So when this kind of happens, we need to do parts work. And parts work is essentially becoming aware of the parts of us that are in resistance. So you can think of them kind of like an altered ego or a separate personality that shows up, and you got to kind of do a little bit of shadow work here if I were you, and asking, what are you afraid of that's going to happen if I do come into this money, if I do succeed here? What is it going to change? Is it going to change my relationships with people? Is it going to change the way I'm afraid that I'm going to become more arrogant? Am I afraid that I'm going to like get screwed over? Like, what is the fear essentially behind this, and what are you trying to protect me from? The other thing that I'm also hearing is that at this point, once you become aware of the fact that this part of you is in resistance, then you got to show it what you are actually going to do with that abundance, and how you are going to be of service, and how you are actually going to help And maybe you could even make a commitment to yourself on how can I give back, and make that commitment so that I don't have that guilt or that fear or whatever it is, that resistance. So there is a part of you that knows it's going to hold that honest version of you. I'm not feeling like you're not being honest, but you know what I mean, hopefully, by what I say by this. Hi, everyone. Would love to add my name on the list for the reading. Yeah, sure, Lucy. Hi, welcome. So essentially right now, I'm just going through the people I've given donations. And if you hang around at the end, I will answer everybody's questions, unless somebody else gives a donation and then their position's locked in and they get a little bit of a longer reading. So that's basically how it works. But hang around because I'll get to ya if you stay. Okay, Johnny, so does that make sense so far? Let me see what else can come up because I feel like there's more to this. I'm feeling hot everywhere. I recently heard that abundance is often related to self-worth, and I'm definitely working on self-worth. Yes, makes sense. Okay, good. Yeah, think about it. Self-worth. We establish money as what? Worth. This is something, by the way, that I'm dealing with right now. It's been a very interesting ride with me, money, this year. I'm down to my last savings, and it's very interesting. But at the same time, how else are you going to discover and figure yourself out until you get tested to the max, right? So I'm pushing the boundaries right now, and I just literally had a meeting with my financial investor, so it's funny how money came up. But yes, there's a part of you that obviously may not feel worthy enough for this money to come in. And again, why? You really got to dig deep into that. This could be something in the past. This could be past events. This is because maybe you've been struggling for a long time. And it could be so many reasons. You know, I noticed that I struggle to charge a certain amount for my services. I have a really hard time doing that. And it's still there, and it's okay. You know, it's something that I'm just working on, and hopefully one day I'll get to a place where I'm comfortable with it. But as of now, I'm still not comfortable with that. But I'm aware of it, which is always a big plus. And I also noticed that recently when money comes in, money goes out just the same. So I'm in that cycle right now, which is not good. But that's okay. Again, I'm like, right, this is an opportunity for me to be aware of my wounding, and there's something here that is obviously showing up in my shadow, and I need to heal that, because if I don't heal this cycle, what's going to happen is it's just going to be consistent. I keep making money and I keep losing that money. So I need to somehow increase my worth, where I believe that the money that I make should come in more. And it's almost like a resistance, and I can feel it in my system. It's like, I'm not worthy of it. It really comes down to that, right? So it's also sometimes for me, I don't know if this is something that you can relate to, I always put other people above. So it could have something to do with that, and not seeing yourself as equal to other people in your services. But then again, you know, people want your service. So it's like, well, obviously there's something there. So again, I can only speak for myself, but again, I'm looking at myself right now, so there's like blocks as well. It's easy for me to see it within other people. So life purpose. The purpose of your life is to serve in a way that brings great joy to yourself and others. Boom. Okay, got it. So, and that's where I struggle with. You're helping me here too, buddy. When you place in this thing, when you find your servitude, you're giving a service that you can see people truly benefit from, where people are truly receiving what they really need. And now, I don't know if this is what you have, but I'm just, sorry, you're helping me here as well, Johnny. I hope you don't mind me sharing, but this is how you basically process things. I'm becoming aware that even though I'm giving service to other people, and I know that they enjoy it and I'm getting good feedback, there's a part of me that doesn't trust people because of my history. And so deep down I think, well, they're just lying. Thank you, Lucy. They're just saying it because they're being nice, right? So there's a trust issue that just came up for me. So when you ask yourself this question, whatever I'm doing can be of service, what is the resistance there? What is the wounding behind it? And if you can find the wound, then it's obviously time to heal that wound. Don't worry about finding your purpose. Instead, focus upon serving a purpose, and then your purpose will serve you. The next one came up, child. So this is an inner child wounding for you, Johnny, for sure. And also, whatever this wounding is, treat it like a child. Heal it like a child. Speak to it. That part of you that is fearful, that is in doubt, that is insecure, the part of me that doesn't trust people. Why? It's wounded. There's a part of you that's deeply, deeply wounded or afraid for a reason, but we often get into anger and frustration and we talk down to it, as opposed to like nurturing it and loving it and gaining its trust back. So there's a child here. So there's an inner wounding within your inner child. And then entrepreneur came up. So self-employment suits your disposition, and intentions. Working for yourself allows you to better follow your intuition and divine guidance. We are your co-workers and teammates who remain loyal by your side to ensure your success in all ways. So this is just a reminder that we all have access to this spiritual power, to the spiritual abundance that is above us. We've got to learn to tap in and tune into that, as opposed to listening to the ego, listening to the fear. You have a spiritual team, and also like I got the unemployed angels. This is another team that you could be working with. So calling forth the angelic realm and asking the unemployed angels to help you heal this, to help you guide with this, to help you figure out whatever this block is so that you can walk into it. And you know, Johnny, sometimes it's just feel the fear and do it anyway. That's also just sometimes just what we got to do. But building that self-awareness and allowing ourselves to heal it can actually help a lot. And you will notice the wounding because it will repeat. Like I said, with me right now, that's what's happening. And it's not always like this with me. It's just coming up because I have been working with money. So the big wounding has showed up, which is the cycles like you get money, but it's going to go out just as quickly. And so I'm like, that's interesting. There's a wound here. So I don't feel worthy of receiving it. I feel more comfortable in the lack of it. So why is that? And so I'm just using me as an example again, but you got to look at that for yourself. And so whatever your situation is, whatever that wounding is, it will manifest physically in the sense of through fears, through doubts, through actual things that happen with your money. But then sometimes we get the gift, but then we reject it, which is what I'm doing. That doesn't happen to everyone. So whatever your thing is, look into it, and it will be a telltale sign of what the wounding is. Yes, I have trust issues too. I was very successful for a long time, and now has been barren as I tried to transaction careers and direction. Yeah, so I think there's a reason why I brought this up, because I think we're actually mirroring each other right now, which is amazing, and thank you so much for that. I so appreciate that. Thank you, Maddie. Because it's the first time I actually became aware of as to why I have issues asking for things, because obviously we've been hurt by other people, we've been let down. But again, this is where we got to claim our power back, right? And just remind ourselves that just because these people did that, we were also in a different place when that happened. We were different people back then, and we had a different frequency and energy. So moving forward now, we're empowered, we've healed, we've done the work, so we won't attract that anymore. In fact, I haven't attracted people who have taken advantage of me for a very long time, but still we carry that wound. And so what ends up happening is that this has come up yesterday in my meditation, we become our own abusers. We let ourselves down. We just, do that to ourselves all of a sudden. And by holding on to that fear and that emotion, it's like we're just basically repeating the cycle within us without actually it happening on the outside. It's much easier to do it to ourselves than having that happen from other people. So there needs to be some healing here, like I said. And number one is the awareness of it, which is great. And so I'm assuming that this is basically what's happening for you. Treat it like a child. So be gentle to yourself. Let yourself know that it is safe, that you've got this. And ask for spiritual help on this journey, because it's going to give you the answers and the guidance that you need to make the right actions and to be brave to take those steps forward. Amazing, Johnny. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I need some healing here. And it's funny because that was my intention yesterday, was to let go of this wounding that I keep recreating for some reason. And I've manifested money, by the way. Like, it's not like I'm struggling. I have struggled in the past, and I've also made good chunks of money. And I'm in this weird wounding that is like manifesting now. And I'm like, all right, well, this is showing up as just something to work on, We can be the victim and the victimizers simultaneously. Absolutely, Cynthia. Yes, unfortunately. That's something that came up yesterday with my meditation, and the person who had the issue. What I realized is that's what they were doing to themselves. So it was a really powerful download and like a aha moment for everybody. Wow, just joined at the right time to hear that. I'm in the same cycle. Hey, Jen. Yeah, isn't it fun? And what's been happening with me is that I've been making money, but then all of my animals have gotten sick. So I don't know if you guys know anything about vet bills, but especially exotic animals, because I have a lot of rats and mice and hamsters. Just to go and see the fucking vet is like $200 to $100. That is just a visit because they're exotic. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And then one of them had an operation. The operation didn't work, so now he has to go to a specialist to get the eye, whatever's happening with his eye. So it's going to be at least another, I'm reckoning $1,500, So it's just like one thing after the other has been happening. So I'm like, wow, this is really interesting. But again, we can fall victim to it, right? And we can allow our emotions to dictate our choices. Or we can just say, cool, it's okay. I can always make more money. I'm going to figure this out, all right? But what the fuck is going on here? There's obviously a pattern, right? So a wound has revealed itself, which is really a huge opportunity, because once you heal that cycle, done. Now there's just money coming in and very little going out. But you cannot heal it unless it's showing up. And you have to heal it while you're in the wound. Wound. That just happened to me as well. Unexpected vet visit. Man, the vets, I don't know what's going on with the vets, but like, come on, man. Like, the prices, get fucked. No, okay, listen. The animals are worth it, and they should get paid. But I do think that they're overcharging, obviously. So, anyway, sorry, I'm going to have a little spiel about it. Or we could just sit in gratitude and be, thank you, vets, for charging us so much. All right, Julie. Okay, sorry, Johnny. Hope that gave you clarity and everything that you needed. I hope that helped, and it sounds like hopefully it did. So, yeah. I'm weird today, guys. Let's just go with the weird energy that I'm giving out. All right, Johnny. Thank you so much. Sending you love and financial blessings. So I'm just closing the energy and opening up the energy with Julie. So what's up? What's your question? Oh, boom. I love it. Hi. After many years, I found a home to move into with my daughters. It's a lot of money themes, guys. And I'm having a lot of fears coming up as I got the water inspection reports, and the water from the well is importable, and there's mold in the crawl space. Still waiting to full inspection report either way. The last reading rang true. I have trust issues and fears for about being taken advantage of. I'd like some guidance for the situation in general. Well, I guess you guys are mirroring a lot of stuff for me today, which is very interesting. No, I feel you, Julie. It sucks. And especially because you just moved into this house and you're like excited and a new change and a new leaf, and then the shit shows up, But like a reminder again, when we're making these big changes, the shadows usually show themselves because they're unhealed. And so they're revealing themselves because we need to heal them. We need to address them. If we don't address them, then that's usually when we lose. And we don't want that. That's why people make money, win the lotto, and then within 3 years, they go back to exactly where they were before because they did not heal the shadows. So how do you heal the shadow? Become aware of it. Look at the cycles and then manifesting on the outside. That's going to be the key ingredient. Number 2, do not react to the cycle as your old version. Freaking out, crying. I mean, have your moment. Don't get me wrong. But get back up. Okay, don't fall victim to it, because remember, we live in the law of mirroring, right? So every time this happens to me, I have that moment of panic. I'm like freaking out, and I'm like, dude, let's play this fucking game. Let's see what happens. But I'm not going to go back to old Jacqueline, who was a control freak and needed safety so fucking badly that worked 6 jobs, right? We're not going to do that. We're going to trust, and we're going to figure this out. and not expect ourselves to have it also figured out within like 2 minutes. Because that's the other thing that we do. So let's check in. This is awesome. I really appreciate this, guys. I love the conversation that we're having. I did bring this up last time in the last live that we had, that like money is something that also people just don't talk about. And I don't know why, because we all, every single one of us earns money, needs to make money, needs to pay money. We all are in that freaking boat. And it's like, ooh, let's not talk about money. Money is evil. Money is this. I'm like, fuck off, man. What's wrong with talking about money? And I remember even at times I've spoken about it I'm very open about it, because I don't want to make it like a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just energy. Ooh. All right. Oh, okay. Ooh, all right. Okay. Sorry, I'm making a lot of sounds, but I'll be with you in a second. Oh, okay. Interesting. All right. So let me go to the mold thing first, because that came up, which was very, very interesting. Detoxification came up. So what this is actually related to is symbolic, Julie. I know this is going to sound freaking weird, but go with me here. The mold that's in your house, and remember the house, our things are essentially actually a part of us. They're a reflection of us. There is mold in you. There is this thing that you, thank you, Kim. I got you. There's a part of you that needs to detox that toxic, whatever that is. So just be aware of that, okay? Just take a mental note of that, because that really came up and it made it very clear to me. So your house is your body, right? So there's detoxing within you, but that's energy, that's negative thoughts, that's negative patterns. There's possibly like even like past things that are festering in you. So traumas, events, and possibly even things with money, right? So when this card comes up, it essentially is asking you to do some detox. So detoxing from negative thoughts, detoxing from negative behaviors and patterns, doing like a cleanse. Because that's going to help clear out your mind so that you can make better decisions. The next thing that they ask you is, do you need to rise above the problems? So when this card comes up, it essentially means that you got to accept the situation for what it is, because oftentimes when we encounter problems, we often can go into denial. we all love that. So we freak out. It's normal. We're like, fuck, I wasn't expecting this. And then we flip out, and then we kind of create behaviors or mental patterns or whatever to essentially like not really deal with the problem. And then every time the problem shows up, it feels like we're just getting pummeled, right? So rising above the problem, it's almost like you need to sit still and go, all right, this is the fucking situation. This is the reality. It sucks. Have your moment, have your cry, have your scream, have your frustration. Now that I know the reality of the situation, what do I need to do? How can I get out of this? What solutions are ahead of me? Because when we're in the shit, when we're emotional, we do not see alternatives, because we're so in the fucking mud and in the fog that it's like we're blind and we're just overrun by panic. And I don't know what to do now, you know? But when we calm down, when we accept the reality of things and we own it, which sucks, but it sucks. I didn't say it was fair. Suddenly we take responsibility, and suddenly we are like, okay, so I have this option, and I could do this, and I could do that. I could get another job, which obviously I don't want to do, but that's an option. What else is there? What other options? Could I get a loan? Could I do this? Could I ask for help? Suddenly you open up your mind to other alternatives. Now, I don't know what that is for you, but essentially you need to start getting your system to calm down. Okay, so there's a detox and a calm down your system. So there's a positive expectations here. So I'm getting a little bit actually of toxic positivity. And again, I think it's related to this situation where it's like, this is where being too positive, guys, sometimes can be not great. So it's like, it's a form of avoidance. It's like, oh, everything's going to work out. It's very different to being positive in the sense of setting your intention, and as opposed to relying on that intention that you're hoping that something from the outside will come and rescue you. So, but I also do feel like there's hope. There is things coming in through. So, sorry, I'm just receiving information. So I'm trying to get a clear message because I'm getting multiple things here. No, they're not telling me anymore. So let me go over here. So you need to take a break, Julie. Honestly, it's a lot of pressure. You're dealing with a lot and it's crushing you, basically. And like, again, I feel like this anxiety, this intensity, this negativity, and you know, the vacation card came up and follow your dreams, but what I'm really getting is somebody who needs to sleep and rest. You really need to take a break and a breather from the situation, because it's like, again, this toxic energy that's in your system that is just festering because of the fears, because of the anxiety, because of the situation, which is obviously not trying to deny the truth of the situation in the sense of like, this is what you're living. But they say you need to start nurturing yourself and taking better care of yourself mentally, spiritually, and physically as well, because it could catch up with you. You know what I mean? You don't want to end up having a nervous breakdown, or you don't want to end up having such anxiety that's going to eventually cause some issues, right? And at the same time, it's like, this is why rising above the problem is like, the situation is what it is. And you don't want to have this kind of situation and then be panicked and fearful and full of negativity on top of everything else. You want to have the situation and take care of yourself so that you are your best self, not just for yourself, but obviously for your daughters too, where you can show up and handle the situation regardless of what's happening. That's the best thing that we can do, unfortunately, because if, like, again, like I'm saying, if we walk into this as an old version of ourselves that is broken and damaged, we're going to react and do exactly what we did in the past. But the new version of us is requiring us to step up, to be better, to do better. Yes, we're going to have all those feelings and fears, but you got to kind of step into the archetype of the warrior, you know, or the healer, or bringing in those energies that live within you to help you, to motivate you, to give you the wisdom, the information. Because if we don't do that, what ends up happening, we default back. So this is something that I'm doing right now. It's like, what would the wealthy version of Jacqueline do in this situation, regardless of the fact that I am not in that situation that I want to be? She thinks differently. She reacts differently. She makes decisions very differently to the old version of me that was poor and living in a shithole. So that alone helps me to make better decisions. That alone helps me, and it's almost like this part of me being out of me and saying, girl, it's okay. You're going to figure it out. Money comes and goes. You can get another job. You can get a better job. There is always a solution. But you cannot figure out that solution if you're freaking out, feeling like shit, angry at the world, angry at yourself, being disappointed, whatever the story is, right? So change the story as well. What is that story that you're telling yourself over and over and over and over again? And that's the toxic, that's the mold. So change the story, change your perception, bringing a new part of you, the higher part of you, to get that information. Don't get the information from the fear-based part of you. And then suddenly, I really do believe, Julie, that you're going to start figuring things out and things are going to come together for you. But you really need to understand that that's basically what's going on deep down. Does that make sense? I know it's a lot. It's a lot of information. Oh, Sarah, no worries. You're welcome to be here. Saeed, thank you so much. So right now I have 4 people who have given donations. So I basically go on the donations first. And then once I get through them, I will take questions if you hang around. And obviously not expecting a donation. It'll just be a much quicker reading. I'm glad, Julie. So listen, again, this is not taking away the fact that right now you're in this situation. And I'm so sorry that you're in this situation. Like, I really honestly feel for you. But you got this. You will figure this out. You have the strength, the resources, the power within you to heal this, to step up. And I promise you, in the future, when you're gonna look at this house and everything that you've been through, you're gonna have so much self-respect because you created this and you healed this and you overcame this, you know. And we expect, unfortunately, in life that everything's going to be hunky-dory, but the truth of the matter is this is a school. So what is my lesson and how can I tackle this and win this? That's the best attitude, the warrior attitude, right? Challenge accepted, motherfucker. Excuse my French, but you know, you gotta have that like badass attitude, you know? All right, well, best of luck, Julie. I know you got this. I'm so glad that this has helped and that gave you some clarity. I'm very excited for your future, and I know you can figure this out. Oh, you're so welcome. Yay. All right, Jen, you are next. And I'm closing the energy with Julie. You know, guys, I'm going to tell you a little secret. You know what's really funny about my readings? You guys can see, right? Every time I do the readings, I'm usually on point. I doubt myself every fucking time I do a reading. And this is the wounding that comes up. But I put myself in the position where I can give the reading. I trust what I receive. And there's always fear behind me. You don't see it because I'm a good actor. But I know what I can give. But at the same time, even people who come across confident, who have the knowledge, who have the wisdom, everything is coming out, I'm just being real. I still have that part of me that's like, you can't do this. You don't know what you're doing. So just be aware of that. Aw, thank you, Kim. Same. See, but I know you guys can relate to this, right? So, how do I navigate my jealousy of my best friend and particular man in her life? Oh, Jen, I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much for being honest and for being so self-aware of the fact that you have this jealousy, by the way, because very, very few people ever own this. So thank you for doing that, and thank you for being self-aware. I really, really appreciate that. Yeah, I know. But let's figure it out. Let's see what comes up. So jealousy is very interesting. Jealousy comes, Jen, from a lack. So again, talking about abundance here and lack of. So abundance is money sometimes, but abundance could be not feeling like this person has the relationship of your dreams and why can't it be me? Or she has the perfect life and why don't I have the perfect life, right? I invite you to turn jealousy into inspiration. Okay, that's something that I did when I was very young, when I realized that I was very jealous of people. Essentially what I realized is that I just want what they have. And so instead of being jealous, which basically creates a distance between me and them, what are they doing? And I start doing what they're doing. Now, doesn't mean I start wearing what they're wearing and acting what they're trying to take over their life. It's more about they're doing something that I'm not doing. And that's part of also the jealousy, right? It's like, well, fuck, I'm working so hard, but really what I had to own was the fact that I was doing the wrong things. And that's painful because that's the ego going, ouch. And it can be physically painful to own that. But then essentially it comes down to me not feeling like I'm good enough to have that. It comes down to, again, self-worth here. It's like, I'm not good enough to have what she has. So I have to cheat, I have to lie, I have to manipulate in order to get that thing. Because me on my own, not worthy of that. So that's why a lot of people who are jealous as well do that. I'm not saying that that's what you're doing, but when we don't get our needs met, oftentimes that's what happens. And we all fucking do it, by the way. I can tell you stories of shit that I've done that it's like I'm definitely not proud of. Fucking millions of them. But think about it now. So we're not here to shame. We're not here to shame ourselves, please. We're here to be real and honest with ourselves and accept the fact that we're human and we're going to fuck up and we're going to be assholes and we're going to be fucking do dumb shit. Okay? It's part of the journey, and that is okay, because if you expect yourself to be perfect and have all the answers and be fucking gracious, no one does that. So I had to put that down there. So, I'm lively today, you guys. This is like, well, when am I not lively on a live? Oh God, dad jokes now. All right, so let's see what's coming up. Okay. So to begin with, already I'm getting, Jen, you got to start seeing your worth here. Okay, so somebody who already feels worthy and already knows that they are capable of getting something, they don't compare. Okay, so this often requires you to step up somehow for yourself, to show up for yourself. So for instance, my old best friend always used to make fun of me when I was very young. She used to call me stupid. She used to say that I was really stupid. And I was like, yeah, I am. Because I didn't believe I was smart. So when I started healing myself, I started to just say, you know what? I might be stupid. Which I wasn't, by the way. But I believed it. So therefore I was. What can I do about it? Now, if you deep down don't believe that you can, most people give up and don't even try. I started reading. I started learning. I started teaching myself. I failed a lot. I embarrassed myself a fucking ton. But you know what? I ended up publishing 3 books now. And on my third, oh my God, I can't even count. Yeah, 4th book. And I've got a tarot deck that I'm about to release. Who's stupid now? So it required me to step the fuck up. I don't think it's a need to have what she has. It's being scared of losing some of what we have. Oh, I see what you mean. Anyway, either way, people needed to hear that. So you're jealous of the boyfriend, essentially, because he's taking her time, right? Got you. Either way, people needed to hear that. So, divine order came through. Everything is how it needs to be right now. Look past the illusion and see the underlying order. When relationships change or dynamics change, we often feel that that is something either being taken, something going wrong. The truth of the matter is every relationship that you have will change. You don't need to suck it up. Yeah, that's basically it. Thank you very much. No. There's a lesson here for you, Jen. Every relationship will change. The relationship with yourself, the relationship with others, the relationship with your parents. People die. People move on. People move away. But we humans, we get very attached to the way things are. And we love to keep it the way things are. Because again, the ego does not like change, okay? So essentially, the more you resist the change, the more you're going to suffer here. The more you're going to keep expecting things to be the same, that's where it's going to create even probably more friction between you and her. Because now she's probably torn between spending time with him and giving you what she had with you. I know, yeah. So, but what I'm hearing here is that just because she has changed, it doesn't change the love that she has for you, because this came up very strongly. She loves you just the same. It's just her reality has changed, and she cannot split her time and her energy between the both of you. So what I'm hearing here is that if you can learn to accept how things are changed and not change your love towards her, yes, the dynamic will change, but the connection won't change, in the sense of, okay, you might not see her every day. You might not see her be able to talk to her every day. But when you do, it feels exactly the same. So that's the way to hold that relationship, because sometimes we can push people away when we start getting afraid and we start getting needy and we start freaking out and we're like, bitch, you're not fucking calling me anymore. You don't even care about me anymore. You're obsessed with your boyfriend and da-da-da-da-da. So that can cause them to just go, all right, well, see you later, you know, and I don't feel like that's what you want. So you got to kind of accept the situation for what it is. Yeah, you get it. Okay, cool. Because that's going to restore the balance. But the reality is the dynamic has changed. So if we keep holding on to that idea, it's just going to cause more distance between you two. You know what to do, okay? So essentially deep down, you know what's going on. And this is why also you're like upset, because it's like, fuck, it's changed and I hate this. And that's why it's causing all of this emotion. And it is kind of like, a lot of people actually really grieve because it's like you feel like your friend has died or something, you know. And there's guilt. Interesting. Why do you feel guilty? I didn't feel that so much. That's interesting. Oh, for feeling that way. Oh, whatever. No, not dissing your feelings. Don't feel guilty. You love her. You want her to be in your life. Sorry, guys. It's my sense of humor. I'm glad you catch it. It's normal. It's normal to have that, you know, you feel like you've lost, you know, and honestly, she's one of your soulmates. I do feel like you guys have a really powerful relationship. Like, even to this day, that old best friend that I have, who was a total bitch, okay, I still think about her and I still love her. We can't be friends because she's such a control freak and she's a nutter. But I have so much love. It's okay, Maddie. You can just copy and paste it later. Don't worry, it happens all the time. I still have and I really still have that because she was such an integral person. Like, even though she was a bitch, she was incredible in other ways. You know what I mean? She'd done so much for me. She changed my life. She was one of the people who genuinely cared about me. But she had a lot of insecurities and a lot of problems that she wasn't dealing with. Anyway, stop talking about myself. But the point is that I'm trying to make is that we're always going to love these people who are going to be strong to us. But I had to accept the fact that the relationship changed. The same here because it just causes issues and it just keeps amplifying, and we keep trying to go back to it in a size 9 shoe when we've become a size 10. You know, it just doesn't work. It's painful. But here's the thing. I am feeling, though, that Jen, because this dynamic has changed, it's going to bring in a new relationship for you. But again, you got to open yourself up and accept and sit with it. There's beauty in that. There is actual beauty in letting somebody be and live their dream. You know, it's like, it's painful and you can admit it and whatever, but at the same time, I'm so fucking happy for you that you found a guy who loves you or that makes you happy. And by giving that to somebody else, oftentimes we manifest it for ourselves. What do you mean, as in other people? Or are you talking about her? Yeah, as in like other people. Yeah, like as in you're going to manifest other people in. Because now you got to understand that when we're in friendship or in relationship with somebody, we're giving a lot of energy. Relationships require a lot of energy, guys. That's why I don't have a lot of friends in my life. I'm very selective now of who I have, but I'm also very comfortable being alone. I have my husband who gets most of my energy. I'm creating new relationships with people, but I'm making sure that those people are very much in alignment with who I am, with the type of person that I am, you know, and all that sort of stuff. And I've had people come in, it didn't work out, let them go. Yes, okay. But if you keep on holding that energy to somebody, then somebody else could come in and you ain't got no space for them. You ain't got no time. Okay, so now that you're letting go, this is also a change for you, which is why it's a reflection. This is why it's so hard, because you're like, when you have soulmate relationships, it gets very intense. You take a lot of each other's time, but when they break away, it makes space for new relationships come in, to new connections, to new relationships. So I really encourage you and invite you to be open and just accept it for how it is, because you can't force her to come back. So it's like you're just basically creating more suffering in a situation that, like I said, we have to accept the fact, guys, that relationships do change. Always. Change is inevitable. And appreciate what you had. Be so thankful for this beautiful love and connection that you had. And when we leave peacefully, we oftentimes never really leave. We always have that connection with that person. It's just the way that we see each other has changed. And peace came up. Again, you need to create peace with the situation. It really comes down to that. That was the final card. You're welcome, Jen. You got this. I know it sucks, man. I know. It's, especially with, like, best friends and stuff. But I don't feel like she's going anywhere. She just doesn't know how to, like, give all her time. So just step back, tell her that you love her, be your silly self and do your thing, but don't be aggressive and try to take her time away from them, from the other relationship, because it can create friction between you two, and you don't want that. Oh, you're welcome. Yay. Blessings. Lucy. I got Lucy, Maddie, and Kim. So just so you guys know, that's the order that we got. Hi, Lucy. What's your question, dolls? I'm so Australian right now. Okay. General. Let's see. I feel like these guys want to come out. I thought you guys wanted to come out today. Career. Okay. Guys, it's raining here and I'm loving this. Like, I just want to be out there in the rain like a crazy person. Oh, you can hear it? That's cool, right? Hey, Jerry Joe. That's a cool name. Jerry Joe. I feel like it's a character. It's a good character. Oh, it sounds beautiful. Cool. I'm glad. It's pretty epic, you know. I woke up this morning to the rain. I was like, oh. I miss the rain. I live in California, so it doesn't rain very often. Funnily enough, Lucy, the number 8 came up, which is the number of career. And justice. So fair and just decision. Do what you know is right. Stand up for your beliefs. So I feel like usually what this means is that you're in a limbo. You're trying to decide, making a decision, like left or right, this or that. Should I go here? Should I go there? Should I go with that company or this company? Should I go by myself? Should I? So obviously the whole point is that's probably why you're asking for the general reading. A desire to move on. The search for something more meaningful, spiritual and emotional growth. Okay, so are you thinking about leaving your job? Or I feel like you're feeling like I don't, where I'm at, it's not right for me. Nicola, hey, how you doing? And I'm just gonna see what I'm saying. Oh my God, seeing what I'm saying what I'm seeing. Which one's the right one? First time, Nicola, welcome. Always welcome here. So, you deep down want something more meaningful, Lucy. There's something here that you're kind of like either seeking or wanting, or want to be more of service, or want to be more connected to your purpose, that kind of thing, right? So, and I don't know if you've got a job right now where it's just unfulfilling essentially, but that's coming in very clearly. So wherever you're at right now, it's not, maybe you like it, maybe it pays well, but it's not really like giving you what you want deep down. And so you're kind of like, what the fuck do I do? Or I'm not going to go back to working in the same industry that I've been working for so long. Yes, I'm thinking about moving on, ready to embark other opportunities. My supervisor even told me I outgrew my position. I enjoy having the knowledge and expertise to support. Yeah. But it is time for you to move on, I feel, because there is this calling, there's something, and like you said, they're encouraging you to go, which is a good thing. So it's like the universe is giving you signs it's time to move on. And obviously we hold on because there's a fear naturally of change. You got comfortable in, hey Thompson, you got comfortable in your position because you got good at it. And when we get good, we like that because we're succeeding constantly. So when we have to move out of our position, it means we got to grow, we got to stretch, we got to try new things. And also, we're not going to be at the top of our game as much. But there's something there that's calling you, Lucy. There's something there that's telling you to move on for a reason. I've had issues passing a licensure, which can help me gain a promotion. So questioning even if this is the career for me. Maybe, maybe not. Let's see what comes up. Relationship develop to a new level. Trust your intuition. Care for yourself and others. So New level came up. So I feel like, yeah, it's definitely, again, that's just saying time to upgrade, time to shift. And look, the answers might not come down right now, but I think with time you're going to figure out. But I think it's also because you got still one foot in and one foot out the door. Hey, Ella. So what you really need to do is make a commitment to this change, because when you make that commitment to this change, the universe is going to reply. So it's giving you all the signs, but you're not completely in it. And that's creating resistance, because at the end of the day, what we manifest on the outside is a reflection of what's going on the inside. Okay. So how can you completely embrace this and say, I'm ready to fucking level up. I'm ready to go to the next thing, and I'm embracing this, and I trust in this process. Watch how things start showing up when you do that. Fears surrounding money, the wisdom to accept help from others, uncertain self-employment. I mean, there's a lot of cards in here, you guys, so I don't know how that happened. So I don't know if this is resonating or not, but there's fears essentially, and you need to ask for help, for guidance, for wisdom, and maybe there is something else for you. Maybe there is a dream that you've wanted to pursue for a long time, or maybe it is this. I don't know. You know this, Lucy. So don't allow anybody to project that onto you, but you got to figure that out for yourself. But there is probably fear surrounding money. So if I pursue my passion, or if I go after what I want, I'm not going to make as much money as I'm making now, or I'm not going to make enough that it's going to make me comfortable. The wisdom to accept help from others. Can you ask for somebody to help you? And if yes, why haven't you? That is one of my fears. Yeah, it's a lot of people's fears. That's why I'm living what I'm living now. Okay, yeah, no, I know, I get it. But that is one of your blocks, okay? When we have this fear around it, essentially it's just saying, I don't believe I'm smart enough, good enough, capable enough to get what I want by working hard. And how is Peanut? Oh, he's good, Thompson. Thank you so much for asking. He's doing great. We figured out that what made him sick was his medication. He was on steroids and it was affecting his nervous system. So thank God he's good. Obviously, I had to take him to the vet many times. We were just talking about that before. Fun. He's actually the cheapest one out of all of my animals, though. Who knew a hamster was expensive? I am in the US. So something to look into, Lucy. So your fears of abundance, I would actually, I'm getting you should do meditations on this, because you need to unlock that. You need to do some inner healing around that, because I feel like once you gain the confidence, you're going to be in. But you just need to gain that confidence and that self-trust, because you've been working for other people, and I feel like you're kind of used to people telling you what to do as opposed to you taking charge. So it's time for you to start doing that. In the UK, Nicola, hey, this is like the 4th person from the UK here today. That's really cool. Welcome. A celebration, wedding, graduation, or birth announcement, the need to have more fun. So a celebration really means that the change will happen, Lucy. It is going to happen. And to look at it as a positive thing and not so much as a negative thing. I feel like you have this heavy energy around it because of the fear, because of the doubts, because of the insecurities and all that sort of stuff. But if you knew 100% that you were going to succeed and believed in yourself and know that, you know, everything's going to work out, of course we would jump into it, right? Not only that, but we'd be like, woohoo, I've graduated, I'm going to the next level. So I feel like that's a little bit more of the attitude. Not 100% because it's easier said than done, but you need to have a little bit more of that kind of like trusting yourself that you got this, because if you go in with that lack, then you're going to slow down the freaking shift, and it's going to take you forever as opposed to in its right time. So essentially what I'm hearing, don't slow down the process, embrace it, accept it, do the healing, and things will reveal themselves as you go along. How does a kid get in the queue for a reading? Well, you have to go to the Fountain of Youth in Narnia. And then when you get there, there will be a sage. And then you tell him that you want to be on the queue. No, sorry. I don't know why I went there. No, Jerry. So right now, people just gave donations. So essentially, they lock themselves in. So I have Maddie right now and Kim in line. But if you don't want to give a donation, just hang around. And once I give them a reading, I will take questions from everybody, and it'll be much quicker. Hopefully you didn't get offended by my sense of humor. I'm just a smartass. Okay, so that does, oh my God. Lucy, did that make sense? Can the last card be a reflection on something other than career? Love the way it sounded. It could be, yeah. But oftentimes, I mean, if that's what resonated, oh, thank you, Jerry. You went to Narnia. If that's what resonated and came up for you, then yes, then that's something that you just should take a mental note. You guys also got to trust your own intuition when things come up. And if you're getting like a flash or an image or like, oh, that could be this, then trust that, okay? Because I can see so much, but you guys can also see things too. Oh, you're welcome, Lucy. Best of luck. You got this, girl. You got this. Okay, next, Maddie. Now you may press. All right, let me just close the energy with Lucy. Maddie, where art thou? Oh no, can you go back? Let me see if I can go back. Sucks. Oh, let's see. Oh, I've got it here. You're lucky. Nobody comment, please. Give me a second. Now! Don't comment because then it just scrolls down. 1 second. Can I save it just in case? I'm going to copy and paste it so I can see it again, okay? Nope, cannot do it. Okay. I've been in the same work site for over 10 years, trying to promote, always taking initiative, ego, drive. Okay, just don't comment because then it goes up. Don't comment. I'm reading it. I'm going to lose it. Not closed with a lot of stuff. Recently employed application was turned down for the next step. I cried solo but went to show up professionally at a cross. Do I invest here or scale back and leave? I can't leave without another job right now due to the finances. I feel more at ease than I'm not going forward. And I don't need to prove myself, something I was trying to do previously. I don't think I was ready for it as much as I had a vision in working strongly together with ED and bringing the vision to life. Is ED eating disorder or erectile dysfunction? Sorry, I just need to know what that is related to. Exact director. Okay, good to know. No, I'm saying this because, guys, I have a funny story. I made a video on eating disorders and I wrote my struggles with ED and I did not know that it standard for erectile dysfunction. So when I posted the video, because you can't put eating disorder on YouTube, I had so many comments, people going, why are you having ED problems? My husband like, this stands for that. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. Then I getting comments. I'm like, oh, shoot. So sorry, I just had to share that because it was really funny. Executive director of the organization. Okay, cool, got it. So let me close the energy. And let me just open up again. Yep. Ooh, that fell out. These cards want to come up. Okay, no. I know. I got stories, guys. Ooh, hello. Hello! So essentially, Maddie, you've been wanting to... Yes, it's rain. It's raining here. Now let's trail of thought. Okay, essentially what you want to do is you want to be promoted and you've been in the same position for a long time. You've been working very hard and it's just not happening for you. I know, right? So nice having in the background. Okay, so Maddie, the first thing that they're saying is you got to forgive yourself here a little bit. You're a bit too hard on yourself, okay? See past your seeming errors, mistakes, and misunderstandings. See only love within each person, the company, and yourself. Your resolute focus upon love that underlies every situation brings about healing in undreamt of ways. So there is a heavy heart here, right? So obviously, like you said, you had your cry, you had your moment, but I feel like now you're kind of like a bit wounded by the situation because you tried really hard and it just didn't happen. So when we get rejection, we gotta understand that it's protection. It's so fucking hard to understand that, and I get it, because you're like, dude, I worked so hard. I worked so much harder than fucking Jimmy over there. He just sits on his ass all day and farts. And in the meantime, I'm here working overtime, showing up with a freaking smile, doing my best. Why did he get the promotion and I did not? Okay, so there's that frustration behind that too. It's like, what else do I have to do? Do you want me to do backflips here? Like, what do you want from me? So that energy, unfortunately, can also create a little bit of desperation. Not only that, but it allows people to take advantage of you. When you are trying too hard and trying to impress and trying to go above and beyond, especially when that is not being recognized immediately, then people take advantage. And sometimes they want to keep you in that position, because if they give you power, then you're not going to, obviously, like, you can't give what you were giving before. They have more control over you when you're in that position, in the lower position. So just something for you to be aware of, okay? Because there's a sense of here of like power coming up, power dynamic. Daydream came up. You will more easily hear and receive our messages in your daydreams regularly. Relax and open your mind to receiving without directing your thoughts. Just notice and feelings, visions and ideas as if you were watching a movie. This is the seat of creativity. So what I'm hearing here is that you're spending a lot of mental energy projecting on what you want the outcome to be, which is good for manifesting normally. But it depends on the intention behind it. Again, if we have this, I really, 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 really want this one thing, what ends up happening is that we're also adding in that vision, that need, that want, which is also too much. So it's an energy of, again, desperation is the word that comes up, but I'm not saying that you're like, oh my God, I'll do anything for you. But it's even a little bit of that, unfortunately, can be in there. And I'm somebody who definitely have done this. And what ends up happening is that the other energy goes, ooh, yeah, no, I'm okay. Somebody who's attractive is an attractor. They don't do much. It's a sense of self-worth, it's almost like, I know my worth. And you're going to gain by actually hiring me, motherfucker. And you're actually going to gain more if I'm in this better position, and this is your loss. That's an example of somebody who's an attractor, okay? Extreme example. Somebody who's desperate, who's going to lose that, it's going to be like, I will do anything to get the position. Oh yeah, if you want me to work extra hours for like no pay, totally. I'm just happy just to get the position, okay? Now, there are times and places for that. Obviously, if an opportunity is given to you and you know it's going to be a step up, of course, we have to work extra hard to get that. But it's another thing if you're trying to chase it and it's just not flowing through. So one of the things that's coming up here is you need to start grounding yourself, Maddie. You need to start really grounding within yourself and listening a little bit more than trying to project. Again, I feel like this projection of daydreaming of what you want as opposed to listening to what they're telling you. And not them, your job, them, your spiritual team, your intuition. So when you detach from awareness of your body and this physical world, you become ungrounded. Although it's pleasant to float heavenward, I don't know what that word is, by attention and work are needed upon the earth. We're helping you balance the spiritual and material so that you can enjoy a fulfilled earthly life. So when we ground, we're a little bit more in reality of the situation. We accept things a little bit more. We're kind of a little bit more self-aware and aware of what other people's intentions are. I'm not saying that the company is bad. I'm not saying any of that, but I'm just saying whatever you, sometimes when we live in the daydream kind of world, we're not seeing reality for what it is, and we're not becoming aware of what really is happening, because again, we're just projecting our expectations. Totally been guilty of that. So once we ground and we realize the situation, we're like, fuck, this is not where I want to be. This is not, they're never going to promote me. Or, yeah, but I've got to change this, and that to get there. So until you ground yourself a little bit more and be aware as to why these things are happening, it's going to be difficult for you to get there. Let your past go. The burden of carrying your past around you has made you weary, dear one. It's time to set this burden down. Keep only the lessons and the love and leave everything else behind. You don't want it or need it. And it's not gone. So again, letting go came up. So even though I think you may think that you've let go, I feel like it's still there because you are still at the same job. Like it hasn't changed. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I let it go and I've healed, I've accepted it. But at the same time, there's still pain in here. So what I'm hearing though, this is the good thing. There needs to be a change in direction. You need to allow yourself to be open to some kind of a change. So instead of focusing on this promotion, what other options do I have? What can I do now to change now to better myself, my situation, my well-being? And sometimes you'd be surprised that once you're like, I don't know, I could just see you like, for instance, working so hard and figuring it out on something else that actually values you, then you're about to leave and they give you the promotion. That's usually how you become an attractor because you're like, I don't need you. You need me. That's the energy that needs to change within you. Because right now, you need them. So, again, Maddie, so much easier said than done, okay? But there needs to be some inner work here, basically. Some forgiveness, some healing. Let go of the idea of this promotion. Doesn't mean you still don't have to work for it, okay? But if you let go of this attachment, you open yourself up to other options. What else can I work on to better myself, for myself, not for the company? Because if you build your value, then they want that. And then that's how you get the promotion in the end of it. Or you move on to something better. But the point is, you got to prioritize yourself and not the company. The changes you're experiencing are divinely directed to your newborn willingness to open your heart to love and our guidance. You are protected now and in the future. So follow your path to the happy outcomes you desire. So what is the feeling that you want from this job, from this promotion? Give it to yourself. I want to feel valued. I want to be seen. I want to be respected. For instance, start respecting yourself. Stop valuing yourself. Start caring for yourself. Fill that void with yourself, not by getting that from the company. That's how I manifested my husband, by the way. Because I was really desperate for love for a long time. Desperata. And I would act cray-cray. So once I healed myself and I started giving myself the very things that I wanted in a relationship, I started talking to myself with respect. I started appreciating my body. I started even holding my own hand at night. I started touching my body in ways that I wanted somebody to touch me without disrespecting myself. And I think that's the reason why I created my husband, because it got to a point where I was like, I am happy by myself. I do not need anybody. And then boom, that's when he showed up. When we give it to ourselves, we become the attractors. Mental note for money, by the way, guys, which I've been doing. I have actually been doing that. Okay, Maddie, does that make sense? I hope it does. Sometimes it's not always what we want to hear, okay? But it's what we need. Whatever, definitely working with on my self-love cup. Thank you. Yeah, and you're worthy. And you're worth it. Trust me, there's nothing sexier and more powerful than somebody who knows their own power. But we unfortunately live in a world that isn't designed. Even people like me who work on power all the time, and I like to think I'm a pretty confident person, I still have fucking issues around that. So you can imagine what it's like for somebody who doesn't. Even the most powerful people in the world have issues. So they probably have more issues than we do. All right, Maddie, sending you love. You got this. And I'm very excited for what you're going to create for yourself, because you can. Imagine the energy that you put into the company, you put into yourself. Imagine that. Kim, you're next. And then we got Jerry. Bam, I love it. Yes, that's what you need to start doing, Maddie. Take that energy and give it back. All right, closing with Maddie, opening with Kim. I began reading tarot at the age of 14, but only read throughout the years for family, friends, and occasionally their friends I didn't know. Fast forward occasionally, they're friends. Fast forward, I'm 50, woohoo, and have begun reading personally, and I love it. However, the ways in which I used to put up shields before and after the readings seemed not to be working as well now. So much is coming through, and I've been blindsided lately by messages. I just want to figure out why I'm being flooded and what direction to go in next. I can't explain that better, but I hope that it makes sense. Yes, it does. I also run my own business and just kind of feel like I'm floating around without an anchor. Thank you. So Kim, it's normal to receive guidance and messages and information once you start opening up those channels. Even today when I was doing, I had a meeting with my my financial advisor. I knew there was a spirit around him, and I was like, do I say something? But I could literally see it on the camera. So shit like this happens all the time. No, it's fine. I'd rather you guys be specific in your questions, because it gives me more information so I can give you more information back. So when you do readings, when you're just channeling the same people, you're receiving the same kind of channels, right? So you're just tapping into the same energies. When you start channeling for other people, when you start reading for other people, you're tapping into different channels. So you're essentially expanding your third eye and your crown chakra now. So when you start doing that, of course, you're tapping in and connecting to more energies, to more information. And so naturally, that's what's going to happen. It's just going to open up. Think of it like studying, right? When you study, you've only got, if I study medicine, I don't know why I chose medicine. I only know about medicine. But then when I tap into law, now I know law and medicine. So when somebody tells me something, now I have a lot more information, and I'm just gathering. I have a lot more to give and tell. So it just basically opens up more channels in your brain. It opens up more information, and you're just receiving a lot more. What do you mean by the way? There was the ha thing. I didn't quite get that. So, however, where was that? I need a secretary. What was that? Sorry guys, give me a second. However, oh, you're trying to swear. Oh, okay. Well, fucking swear, man. I've been swearing this whole time. Swearing is welcome in my dimension, because it pisses my mom off. No, I'm joking. It does though piss her off, but it's as long as it's done in a form of self-expression in the right way, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I know in the US it's like a big no-no, but in Australia and the UK, you guys know that this is fine. All my UK people, you can tell me, because they're like, yep, we wake up swearing. All right, but let's see what comes up, Kim. And so you said something, I just saw a light. You said something about your business. Is your business related to your tarot or something else? Londoners swear all the time. See? I knew it. So it's not related. Okay, that makes sense then. This reminds me of me a little bit, Kim. Because I started an online business. And out of all the things I did, I sell T-ball sets for kids. I don't have kids. I don't want kids. I don't like kids. And I still have 800 units in my garage. I wonder why. Yet I learned a lot from it, okay? And by the way, it's not like I don't like kids as in like that way, but I genuinely just don't like kids as in they're messy, they're loud, they're chaotic. I like animals. They're messy, they're loud and chaotic, but I prefer that kind of chaos. Oh, okay, wow, okay. I never got this card before. Okay, darling. So, one of the things that came up. Yeah, fluffy kids. They're the best. I also have like hairless rats as my kids. As you do. I was a HS teacher and a radio personality, so I've done a lot. That's cool. What's a HS? High school. Got it. Took me a second. Sorry, I'm a little bit slow with the codes, guys. My business name is I'm making my own aromatherapy products. So I make things all day. Inner 8-year-old is so happy for me. Okay. Couple of things that came up here. So what you really want here, Kim, is that you're actually seeking a spiritual community deep down. Because this traditional viewpoints and methods, spiritual organizations seek out mentors and like-minded friends. So I feel like, I don't know if your reality is really, people are open to tarot and people might enjoy a reading here and there, right? But they're not living the spiritual world. Miniature schnauzer. I used to have a giant schnauzer. Not yet, Nicola, but we'll get there. I used to have a giant schnauzer though. I grew up with her. I love them. Super smart. So I think deep down, Kim, what is lacking for you in direction and having answers and stuff is what I'm really getting is that you need to seek out a spiritual, people who are a bit more like-minded, I think, or who are more tapped into that kind of place. Because I think once you find that community, and this is something that I'm experienced, to be quite honest. One of my goals last year actually, was to create a spiritual sponsor, so to speak. Yeah, that's actually a good way to put it. But you want people where you can connect with on a level where you can really share your thoughts and who you really are and the downloads that you're receiving safely. Because if you go to somebody who's not spiritually minded, they're going to think you're batshit crazy. But if you go to somebody who's spiritually minded, they're going to be like, oh yeah, that happens to me all the time. I've seen this spirit guide or that being or that entity or that thing, or I've been seeing past life things. But this crystal has this energy, you know what I mean? Whatever it is that your schmick, or I've seen aliens, I talk to aliens, whatever your thing is. But if you go to somebody who's not spiritually minded, it can shut you down immediately because you can feel that energy where they're like, yeah, that's obviously, and then you know that they're judging you deep down. So when you find that spiritual community, on top of everything else, these things that you've been receiving, it's going to amplify. I've got that for sure, but no major person. That makes sense. Yes. So one of the things you need to do is look for spiritual communities around you. I don't know where you live, but I promise you there's somebody there. It could be meditation classes, yoga classes. I teach meditation classes all over Los Angeles now because I've been trying to build that community and bring people to it. But that's how I met the people at the Owl's Nest, who, by the way, now we're working together in businesses and growing things because now it's more in alignment with who I am. And now I'm making my tarot cards and I'm doing all of the stuff that still gets me that creative inner child joy, but it's really in alignment with, not a stupid T-ball set. I don't know why I came up with that. Actual things that I do and practice and teach. But sometimes you got to go through that in order to figure this out. So the aromatherapy thing, you're probably losing the passion because there's no magic in it. Even though it's kind of related to magic, right? So one of the things I would start inviting you to do with that business is make it magical. Add your magic into it. Ask your spiritual team or watch what other people do in the community that inspire you to bring more of that magic, because then it's going to motivate you a little bit more. You definitely do, for sure. Okay. So again, but I'm feeling like this community thing. But are you hiding the magic, or are you sharing that there is magic in there, by the way? Because sometimes we put magic in it. There it is. That's why it's not exciting, because people don't know that there's magic in it. So to people, even though you put all this power and fucking magic into it, oh, thanks for the candle. Right? Well, you're just coming out of the closet. Yeah, so this is the thing. You need to feel... So again, this is also part of the witch wound. Okay, this comes up big time for a lot of people who are healers, spiritual people who have always had the gift. You're afraid because this is to do with the witch wound, which, by the way, I do recommend you go and check out my guided meditation that I have on Insight Time on healing the witch wound. That stops you from coming out of the closet, because back in the day you would have been killed. So there is still that subconscious fear in your DNA, and I still have a little bit of it. You know, I get a lot of judgment from my family, more particularly than anybody else, because they're not in this world at all. I still am very reserved on... I have another account, my meditation channel, but my private account, I do post that I do meditations, but I don't talk about rituals or potions or things that the the cray stuff that I do. But I'm slowly starting to, because I'm slowly giving less of a flying fruit about what people think, even though I genuinely don't in general, but my family is a different thing. So they know what I do, but they don't know the extent of what I do. If you ask my dad about this stuff, he will tell you a whole story about how funny this is. Anyway, so the point is the witch wound's coming up, right? So that's part of the reasons why you're resisting. You can also, if it makes you feel safer, people don't have to have your face attached to the product. And I would invite you maybe to find a way to get the product out there without your face so that you can go full-blown witch. And you can use like a symbol or something, or, you know, and then if people find out, so what, whatever. But hopefully that will launch it into more success, because then you're really being yourself. You see, when you start a business, when you're not really being yourself, guess what happens? You end up with 800 units still in your garage. And you're actually in your mother-in-law garage, because we don't have space in my house. Anyway, whole other story, guys. Okay, the illusion of being trapped, a lack of self-confidence, afraid to take action, Kim. So very clear here, there's a fear. You're not taking action on your instincts. You're not listening to your intuition. Again, the witch wound came up. You're also not surrounded by people who are like-minded, so it doesn't feel safe to be yourself either, because you can't self-express. So I would really encourage you to find ways to sort of step out of your comfort zone and look for that community, because we need community. And even me, who likes to be in a mountain in the middle of buttfuck nowhere for the rest of my life, I do need community, and I love working with people who are like-minded. It's not easy to find, but it's doable. And then the final card is the need for balance and moderation, cooperation and compromise. Wait for the perfect timing. So timing here is also involved. So it's going to be, what I'm hearing is this is going to take time for you. Because I feel like you just come out of the closet, the tarot closet. It's like, okay, all the world is available and I could do this, this, and that, but you don't want to jump too crazy either and then freak yourself out, because there are people out there who are going to make fun of you. There are people out there who are going to roll their eyes and they're going to judge you. The rain is loud. No, that's my hamster. He's trying to break out of his cage, which I'll get him out, because when he does this, give me 1 second. It's actually a sheep. Hey, Baba, come here. You say hi? Yeah. Okay, go. Run free, child. Yeah, they're adorable. Okay, so, does that make sense? Okay, so it's going to take a little bit of time, Kim, for you to adjust this change, because you're starting to finally be in tune with yourself. And so it's going to take a little bit of time. And so don't jump into it either, because it can be scary, but slowly, like I'm doing with the Instagram, you know, giving a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I know eventually I'm going full-blown witch, but as of now, also you got to learn to protect yourself. It's never too late. You got to learn to protect yourself as well, because there are people out there who are going to try and take your light. People don't want you to be yourself. Society doesn't anyway, okay? So until you build up the strength to have that knowing in yourself, then you can take the hits. But if you don't, it takes one punch and you're down. And you don't want that. I've gotten shit on the internet before, not as bad as some other people, but eventually the more popular you become, the more light you cast, the more shadows you cast. Okay? I am on Instagram. So it's at Jacqueline444. That's my Instagram. I did it years ago because I have the number 4 tattooed on me. Does that make sense? So you're exploring, but again, you need that community, because that's going to give you the courage, that's going to give you the support, and it could be the online community, okay? But again, we also want the physical community, and even just setting that intention, Kim, and putting it out there, it's going to make it happen for you. But then you have to take the action when you get the inspired downloads. Go to this place, go to this art class, go to the thingy, go start pottery. I don't fucking know. You might meet somebody there. So you need that community. Are you gonna be a cutie? She's so cute. She's just cleaning herself. Littles. Where's a little munchkin? You want to come and say hi again? Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I have 18 hamsters in my care. A lot. So, all right, Kim. I hope that helped. You got this. Be free, my dear friend witch. And like I said, check out my meditation on witch wound healing, because that's going to help you a lot. It's helped a lot of people. I had one person actually tell me that that was a really shit meditation, which was kind of funny. And I was like, well, thanks. And then everybody else is like, it's a great meditation. Come here. Hi, Bubby girl. You want to come and say hi? No, you're too excited to explore. It's okay. Honestly, the people who I tend to be haters are the people who are not doing anything with their own lives. But it is still a trigger for me. It's interesting. Even the other day, I did my course on it was on energy shielding, which, by the way, you guys should check out and let me know. So I have a few courses on Insight Timer, and somebody said, they told me that I need to watch out for victim shaming. I guess I must have said something. I don't remember what I did in the course, by the way, because I make them, I channel them, and then I send them out. I write them out, and then they're gone, you know. And somebody said, you need to be careful of victim shaming. And I was like, oh. And by the way, my course has gotten 5 stars so far. Everybody has been super nice about it. So I was like, did I victim shame? Like, what? And I'm thinking, no, I know myself. I would never victim shame. But then I realized it's like, okay. I probably told them to take accountability at some point, and, you know. But it's interesting how it triggered me. And then literally the next day, somebody said, this is the best course I've ever done on Insight Timer. So you can't please everybody. I was just told, by the way, sorry, Jerry, you're next. Bring your question out. Sorry, I was just told that I was tortured and killed in a past life for sharing my wisdom, and which I couldn't understand the anxiety I've been experiencing to step out in the public arena. Thank you for the explanation. You just gave me the witch healing meditation. Appreciate it. Hey, anytime, Chandra. Anytime. Yeah, it's a thing. It's a real thing. I'm an artist and I get jealousy. It gets a bit much. I'm an artist, get a lot of oh, you get jealousy because you're an artist. Yeah, Nicola. And it's because, again, you remind people of what their potential is, but the difference is you did the work and you got there and they didn't. And oftentimes the people that we get the most amount of jealousy from are the people that are closest to us, because they've seen your growth and they didn't do the work. Like, I'm an incredibly ambitious person, incredibly ambitious. Like, I get up early, I work out, I'm in beast mode at the moment. I've been working at the gym like an hour and a half almost every day. I'm doing my cards, I'm doing my things, and it can be a bit much for people, because it's like, I have this thing in me that people want, that determination, and I don't need anybody to motivate me. I do it myself, you know, but it can make people feel like shit. Is it to artistry, and I hear so much nonsense rooted in fear and jealousy. Yeah. Let them do their thing. Okay, Jerry, I see you. Let's go to Nanya. Oh my God, yes, let's fucking go to Nanya. I would love to go to Nanya. Okay, let's go to Nanya or BF nowhere. Oh. I just want to know what must be done for me to make it through the last stage. All right, interesting. Okay, so let me close the energy with Kim. The last stage. Ooh, cryptic. Of Nanya. The last stage of Nanya. Are we going to do like the metaphors now for Nanya? I had to cut people off. I'm very ambitious too. I'm a bit like you, motivated and driven. I just need some art commissions. That's awesome, dude. Congratulations. It's good to see someone similar to me. We are out there for sure. And like I said, this year when I started building this community, I met the people from the Owl's Nest, Nicole and her boyfriend, and they're the same animal. You know, they work all the time. They're building businesses all the time. They're trying different things, and I just love being around people like that, because this is the first time I've met people who are like there, you know. And of course there's still like things, of course, that like, you know, everybody's got their journey, but it's nice to meet people who you're like, you admire them, and Yeah, so I love that. Anything else? There it is. Oh, okay. Let me just double check this for a second. A relationship that continues to grow closer, forgiveness, the positive resolution of a conflict. So Jerry, just want to make sure. Sometimes things that are holding us back, and this is something that I realized that is actually connected to my abundance issue, is actually connected to the resentment and the anger that I have for my parents. I've not been able to completely forgive them, and I'm trying really hard to get to that place. Forgiveness should never be forced, by the way, guys, to heal that wounding, that relationship. So forgiveness has come up for you, Jerry. So I don't know what that's in connection to with this thing that you want to get to the next level. Jesus, I'm so sorry, man. So this makes sense. So a relationship that continues to grow closer. Forgiveness, the positive resolution of a conflict. 2 daughters 10 years ago. Oh man, I can't even imagine what the amount of suffering. Man, I'm so sorry. But here's the thing. Oh my God, dude. You see the 2 women there? The 2 girls? Okay, I'm getting chills. So, just because they're gone, Jerry, it doesn't mean that they're not with you. Okay, so one of the things that happens when people transition is that we actually get an immediate connection with them. There's a book that I'm reading called Signs. It's taken me months to read it, but it's about connecting to the afterlife. And this woman talks often about the fact that when people transition, we can talk to them all the time and ask them to give us signs to let them know that they're still here with us and they're around us. So I don't know why that just came up, but I just needed to tell you that. But there's forgiveness, okay? So there's this, obviously, this pain, this suffering that you've been carrying for so fucking long. I've always wondered if they felt my pain and it'll be okay. Once people transition, they don't feel pain and suffering the way that we do. It's completely different experience. They can see you carrying that pain though. And so ultimately what it comes down to, because to them, they've left their body, they don't have that suffering that they carry in their physical, but of course they want us to understand that once you transition, none of this matters. Even what happened to them, it's not that it doesn't matter, but in the sense of like, we all come back to the same place, we will all find each other again, it's all going to be okay, it always works out somehow. So oftentimes when I watch a lot of near-death experiences and people talking about transitioning and all that sort of stuff, it's very much around, don't feel for me, I'm okay, I'm in the best place I could possibly be, I'm happy, I'm free, I'm enjoying my afterlife. Or maybe they reincarnated, I don't know. So one of the things that is coming up here is that there's obviously needs to forgiving yourself, Jerry, here. There's a lot of self-forgiveness. I don't know, or maybe forgiving somebody else. I'm not sure what the situation was, and you don't have to share it, please. But understand that that is probably the next phase. So it's very similar to what I said with my parents, right? When we hold on to these energies within ourselves, unfortunately, they manifest on the outside in certain ways. And it weighs us down, and it's like we're carrying this fucking constant weight with us, and so it slows us down, whether it is to do with your business or personal life or relationships or whatever it is. So that's the anchor, essentially, that's there. So the power of creativity, recognition for very high quality work, a team player. Oh, nice. So this is awesome. So there's transformation, there's a butterfly, right? Which is the card of transformation. So that makes sense that this is happening, but it's also about like very high quality work. So sorry, he's on my toes. Oh, it's adorable. So the work, I'm assuming that basically what happened, obviously because of this pain and suffering, you've channeled it into possibly your work, right? You've gotten really good at something. It kind of, yeah. So it also develops a skill. Okay, so sometimes our shadows and our pains and our suffering can either destroy us or make us more powerful and better. But if we don't completely transform that energy, we still carry, again, it's like that butterfly, the going from the cocoon into a beautiful butterfly. That's basically what is needed from you right now. It's like continuing to use this, whatever it is, to make good, to be good, to build good, to be your best self, to be of service. Maybe helping other parents who've gone through whatever you've gone through. You know, there's so much that you can give because of what you've experienced. So how can you make this into something? And I'm seeing like team player, right? You're a great team player. The deeper I went, the less choice I had for the freedom, just want to finish well. What do you mean by finish well? Oh, retire. Okay. Just because you retire, though, doesn't mean you're done with something. Because guess what the next card is? The world. The world is your oyster. A job well done. Joy, contentment, and gratitude. The path towards enlightenment. So now that you're going to have all this time, there is so much still to do. There's so much still to give. I really feel like you're somebody who can really be of service to the community or to some cause or something, because you've developed some skill here that has made you superhuman, basically. And again, it's because of what happened. Unfortunately, our biggest tragedies can turn out to be our biggest gifts in the end, and not just for ourselves, but for others. So transforming, alchemizing the shit into gold. That's basically what's happening here. So you've done that. You've done something amazing here. So you've developed skills that are really needed and necessary for others as well. So I don't know if it's whether for you to share that or to understand that even though you're retiring, it's not just the end of who you are and your purpose. You're just, like you said, transitioning into a new purpose, into something else. And whether it's to give yourself that love and time, of course, at the beginning, because there is some healing that needs to be done and continued healing. I mean, when something like this happens, let's be real, it's going to take a lifetime. But the point is that you continue to work towards it and continue to heal yourself and get yourself to that place. Because the more you do that, the more you have to give back to the world and to others. And I feel like deep down, that's going to be part of your purpose, Jerry. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Hey, Munchkin, do you want to come out? Of course you're special, mate. Everybody's freaking special. Everyone is special. Everybody. We're all special. We all have unique gifts. We all have something to give. And I think that attitude of thinking that you're not special really undermines your potential, you know. It doesn't mean you're above anybody else, but you are special. You have special skills. You believe that you're only special to other people. I mean, if that makes you happy, I don't like to think that other people have to dictate my special, because then you give people the power to dictate your self-worth. For me, it's really about knowing that there's something special about me and figuring out and sharing that. But each their own, you know, if that makes you happy and that fulfills you, go for it, you know. So Jerry, I don't know if I've answered what you needed, really. Because it's an interesting reading, this one. It's very open, but there was a few things that came through. So is there anything else that you want to know, or do you feel like you received something here that gave you that completion or that fulfillment? Nicola, yes, I'm happy to answer questions now that I've done all of the donations, unless you want to give a donation, but I'll take a question after Jerry. Well, I'm sending you so much love, and I really do think that maybe you should try and start to see yourself a little bit special. Because when you see yourself that you're special, it's almost like, to me, it's seeing like my inner child is special. Like if you look at yourself when you were a kid, you know you had gifts, you know you had certain things, you know. So I don't know. Yeah, see? Sandy, oh, thank you. Yes, let me see what time it is, actually. It's a good question, because I can go for hours, and then we've done an hour and a half. Yeah, I will go until like another 20 minutes, I'd say. But then I'm going to close. So, yeah, if you want to give a donation, this is your time to give your last donation, and then I'll take quick questions. Or you can just ask me a question. No stress, and you can give me a donation later, whatever you want to do. No stress. But I know Nicola wants to ask, and Sandy, so why don't you guys just ask? And then if you want to give me a donation after, give it. I'd appreciate it. If not, no stress. I'm here for you. I'm just going to close the energy with Jerry. Oh my God, these hamsters are so freaking cute. I can't handle them. So Nicola, question. Anybody else who has a question? Now it's your time. Do you want to come out, buddy? Oh God, everybody, they all want to come out at the same time. That's the only problem. Oh, thank you. What's your question, Nicola? Not expected though, guys, but thank you. Come here. So excited to smell things. Okay. So I got you, Sandy. I'm just going to get Nicola first, and then I'll do you, okay? So what are you struggling at? You don't have to tell me, but like what are you, so you just want me to tap into that, Nicola, and just see what comes up? Or is there something specific that you want understanding or clarity with? Oh, you're trying to get an artwork off the ground. So you're like creatively blocked, basically. I can smell myself. That's not good. I just said that on camera. Let me see what comes up. A primary card, doctor is a physician with me, and I've done nothing but complain. It's fascinating with me. Okay, let's see what comes up. I'm gonna get more cards because this is not telling me a full story. Okay. So definitely the creative card came up. So beauty, right? So through your art, you build your confidence. This is actually where a lot of your confidence is. It actually empowers you, and there's like something there that it just like builds you. Okay. So when you get creative blocks, or when you don't know what to do next, or you're not receiving those downloads, because for you it's actually like a spiritual download, like you're receiving the guidance. I can see it. It looks amazing. You lose confidence. You lose your self-worth a little bit. You kind of get a little bit lost. And so you're not very good at sitting with that. And so you push through it as opposed to just sitting back and allowing the downloads to come to you, okay? So one of the things that they're saying is you need to break free from that pattern, because that pattern is actually not a good pattern to have. It's actually a self-destructive, egoic pattern, because there's no trust that the answers will come, and so you push through as opposed to going, all right, the timing is not right. Obviously, there's some kind of a block. Let me just take a break take a vacation, sit back, become the observer. Yeah, but you're pushing through. You can't push creativity. You know that. It comes to you. It downloads through you, or you use it for healing, right? So what they're saying is this is basically a pattern that you keep recreating, and maybe for other things in your life, pushing through does work, but when it comes to your creative, it doesn't. Oh, thank you, E. Oh, I appreciate you, man. Yes. So it's almost like, and what I'm hearing here, Nicola, is very interesting. You actually burn out. So it's almost like you're tapped into this, plugged into something, and you're receiving these downloads. But it's like with anything, like a computer or anything, when you're getting too much energy and too much power, you need a minute and you need to break. Yes, you need to take a break, recharge your battery, okay, and then fill up. But the problem is, if you're not getting that feeling, that high from achieving, then when you're left in the resting, you feel like shit. That's why you start complaining. Because you're so used to getting that validation 24/7 from yourself that unfortunately when you don't get it, it's like, oh, I'm just defaulting back to my old depressed self who was the person before I became this person. So that's just something for you to be aware of, right? So you need to heal that, because if you can find the ebbs and flow and trust that you just need to sit back for a minute, it's okay. You're going to feel like shit. So fucking what? Just suck it up. Because when you come back, you're going to come back 10 times more powerful. Exactly. But what's the point? You're pushing through when you could have used that energy to recharge and you could have finished it within a day. So you're actually wasting time. That's the thing that you're not seeing. You're actually wasting your own time, okay? So now that you know this, put that dedication into healing that. Make times for those around you. Okay, so one of the things that I think a lot of people who are extremely ambitious will relate in, we don't have time for anybody else. So one of the things that they're asking you to do is start developing a little bit more time for your relationships, okay? Because they might actually give you some inspiration as well. They're probably going to give you also some motivation, okay? And not that you're not motivated, but a different type of motivation, a creative type of motivation, okay? So when you take energy away from all that sort of stuff, essentially you're creating more lack, okay? Because again, you'll keep seeking it from the same source, and you need to expand a little bit here. Well, parents and sister died, no family. Well, what about friends or community? Maybe you need more of a community. Ah, thank you, Peter. Oh, thank you, Peter. I so appreciate that. It's always good to see you, man. I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out. Just hanging out. I appreciate that. They're in London. Okay. But again, online community, you know, the point is you're depriving yourself of those connections essentially a little bit. And what the last card came up was important psychic insights, events behind the scenes release fears that are holding you back. So when this card comes up, essentially what it's basically saying is that there are some parts of the shadow within you that you're not aware of. And so the shadow is the aspects of us that we reject, disown, and deny, that we are not aware of, that there are in the subconscious. And how they manifest is often through behaviors, patterns that are coping mechanisms like OCD, addiction, workaholism, that kind of stuff. So if you could find a little bit more of what that unfulfilled need is and try to give that a little bit more to yourself, it's going to help you a little bit also with that negative mindset, with that creative. It's actually going to increase everything. It's going to amplify everything. So it's a little bit of shadow work, Nicola, that you need to start doing. There's a little bit of, he's on my foot. Parts of you that are, come here. Now. Ow. Okay, does not want to come up. He bit me. They're actually very gentle with their bites. So, does that make sense? So I did a video on shadow work on my YouTube channel that explains it in a bit more detail, that I do recommend that if you can. I think it's called Shadow Work 101. So it's, I'll put it here so you can find it. Meditation _channel. So if you Google that, you will, or you can just go to my profile and it should take you to my YouTube channel. I do recommend that you check it out. It's going to give you some really deep insights on it, because that's going to really help you understand the subconscious patterns. Yeah, that's okay. The point is that you begin. Because I think it's going to help you to unlock, because as an artist as well, by the way, the more you know about yourself, the shadow and the light, the more you have to give back in your creative expression, because you're expressing parts of you, right? So the more you get to know yourself, the more you actually have to give. Yeah, so that came up. So I hope that made sense. And then Sandy, you're next. Oh, Sandy, I love that name. Yeah, Nicola, just go and check it out. Dig a little bit deeper. I promise you, you're going to find some things about yourself that are going to be like, holy moly poly. I'm just going to see. I think you wrote something, but I think I missed it. Here we go. Did you ask a question? I don't think you did. Oh, you love shadow work. Yes, the GP. Yeah, I mean, it's up to you. Just don't allow their energy to influence you, essentially, their opinions, and then they get very bored. Kim Scorpio. All right, Sandy, what's your question? We need to close out because I'm burning out now. Did you bite me? That was not very nice. You want to come and say hi again? She's like, leave me alone. I'm exploring. You don't have to leave the person. It's just your energy. When people become fascinated with us, especially when we're interacting with them, it's because also we give them some of that energy. So if you shut down or don't give them any more information, they don't have anything to feed off. So just be a little bit aware of that. Oh, you wrote it 10 minutes ago. Okay, sorry. Sometimes when I go back, Sandy, it doesn't allow me to go all the way back, just so you know. So I just want to see. Oh, here we go. We're in a legal battle. I feels like the judge is being bribed. Oh, our family is concerned. It's an estate case. Okay. All right, so let's see what comes up, Sandy. So I'm just going to close the energy with Nicola. That's why you guys wanted to come out today. Okay. Yeah, look into shadow work. I'm also hungry. I need to eat. So I'm not getting anything specific on that yet, but I did get something about family lineage, which is very interesting. Yeah, a lot of conflict came up as well, now that I know what that card means. So the Hermit, wisdom of solitude, blessed love life, and contemplation. So obviously this is stressing you out a lot. So I have to talk about this just because it's a very interesting card that came up, Sandy. So you see how this person is in cups, and cups usually mean emotional fulfillment. So basically it means emotional karma. That's what I'm hearing here. And you see how there's like the two chords on the left and the right. So she's like, I'm seeing this more like energies coming through or connected to certain energies and patterns. So I kind of feel like this is a very interesting situation because there's some sort of karmatic thing happening here from your mother and your father's side. So there's like, I did a meditation on this, which is exactly how I envisioned it. I'm trying to get the clear downloads here, but I'm getting very little information on this, and I don't know why. So I'm going to ask more cards just to get the proper answers. But I hope this is making sense. I know it's not going to make sense right now, but hopefully by the end of it, it'll make sense. So essentially what I'm hearing here is there's some sort of karmatic pattern lesson thing coming up here that needs to be resolved, not just for yourself, but for your family bloodline. This is like either a cycle or repetition or a lesson that keeps repeating within the family bloodline. The issue that's on the outside can be resolved within. Heard that in my head. Oh, it's about my parents' divorce decree. There you go. Okay. So one of the things that you really need to take care of, Sandy, is yourself here. I see this woman in bed freaking out and looking out the window. I feel like that's a little bit you, right? So there's a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, you're taking on a lot of their lessons, their shit, basically. So whether this judge is corrupt or not, unfortunately, there's not much you can do about it. That's the reality of the situation, right? And unless you've got proof, unless you've got like tickets, and even then, there isn't much we can do about it, right? So what you can do is change what's going on within you right now and not taking on their shit and their lessons and the karmatic patterns that are happening here. Because number one, it's going to be passed down, okay? So these things can repeat, especially when they're in the bloodline. And the way to heal this is to essentially find the healing within yourself. No, it's not what you want to hear, okay? But that's what I'm seeing. There's a lot of conflict, okay? A lot of conflict, a lot of battles happening, a lot of tension. Choose your battles wisely, okay? So when I hear this, what essentially means is like, again, is this something that you can do about it? And if not, then why even put energy into it? Focus on the things that you can heal and work. Healing within is possible. Amazing. Because again, if this person is corrupt, unfortunately, when it comes to the law, we have, sometimes we have power, but sometimes we don't. And oftentimes what ends up happening in these kind of situations, especially when they're karmatic, when we heal ourselves, usually the situation solves itself somehow, like miracles happen. Because this is a reflection of what's going on within. Teal Swan had this happen to her. I don't know if you guys know who she is, but I'm sure you do. A lot of you do. She had a court case and she talks about it, and she was doing so much shadow work to heal it until she realized that she had to embrace it and accept that and go in with like, whatever comes, I'm just going to go with it. Then the court case solved itself. So when we have this resistance, or we're seeing that there are wrong things, or we're putting our energy to amplify the shadows and the darkness and the toxicity in this situation, there's a lot of toxicity here. We're just amplifying more of that, and we're creating more of that by accident. The generation karma. I'm wondering if I have a meditation with that. I did I made a meditation on abundance. Okay, so this is going to help you, Sandy. I really do think so. So if you can go onto my Instagram, it's up there at meditation_channel. I did a live at the Owl's Nest where I did a meditation on unlocking abundance. You can also go to my YouTube channel. So it's a live where I'm like literally guiding a whole meditation at the Owl's Nest, which is called Unlocking Abundance or something. It was like 2 or 3 days ago. It was like this last week. Literally in that meditation, I take you through your mother's side and your father's side, and I get you to heal that. So that's going to help you. That's going to definitely do some sort of healing in that department. So if you can, check it out. Relationships develop to a new level. Trust yourself, trust your intuition, care for yourself and others. Okay? This is why this come up. You see, now it makes sense. So this is about leveling up the relationship, changing the relationship, healing the relationship. And deep down, Sandy, you know exactly what to do. And oftentimes, just because we know what to do doesn't mean we do it. We question ourselves. And also, when we know what we need to do, we don't do it because it's freaking hard. That's the hard part, right? But you know what to do. So they're saying start listening to intuition. This came up twice. So what I'm getting here is that you really need to stop getting the information from the outside sources, from your family. You need to start listening to your own intuition and your own inner guidance, even if it is against what they're saying. Desire to move on, the search for something more meaningful, spiritual and emotional growth. Again, this comes back to what I'm saying. This is an opportunity for you and your family to heal, for spiritual growth, for transformation within and around. The outside is just a reflection of what's going in. And a leap of faith, follow your dreams, unexpected opportunities. So when you do, yes, Teal Swan does do shadow work. When you do, plus you just Google, if you just YouTube shadow work, there's a ton of people, but just make sure it resonates and it makes sense, guys, because there's a lot of people that also don't know what they're talking about. So just be self-aware, because shadow work can be very intense. When you do the healing, that's when things start changing. That's when the unexpected starts happening. That's when turns and twists in the court case start happening. So that's how you know that you're doing the right work and the healing is working. So when we do the work inside and we shift it, suddenly things start changing. So Teal Swan, yes, so she has a book called The Completion Process, which I do recommend. It's a very tough one, but you got it? Okay, good. So that's basically, she helps you process traumas, but it's basically within the shadow work kind of thing. Again, Teal Swan is great. Just type in Teal Swan shadow work. She's a bit controversial, but I love her and I agree with her work. You can Google my stuff. Mine is very basic ABC. It's not as in-depth as her, but it gets the point across. So I have Shadow Work 101. So yeah, so those are the things that you basically can look into. But even if you just go on YouTube and type in shadow work, there's a girl called Diamond. I think her name is Diamond. She does an amazing explanation of shadow work. That's all she does. So I do recommend her as well. Like, she's incredible. As far as anybody else outside of Teal Swan, she's the other person that I really listen to when it comes to explaining shadow work. She does an amazing job at it. Whew, all right, guys. Okay, Sandy, so I hope that helped. It's interesting how it came up, you know, like ask her about a court case. I'm like, well, this is about this, and that. And you're like, what the hell? So, yeah, PTSD, Nicola, comes from shadow, for sure. Oh, thank you. That's awesome. Oh, I'm so glad, Sandy. You got this, man. Guys, life is not as... It's not easy. It's not meant to be easy. It's a school, you know, and it's tough. So, by the way, I saw somebody ask another question. Let me just go back. I can give you a quick answer. So just in case, guys, I'm going to give you quick answers. Terry, I saw that you asked a question. Sorry, I can't go back any further, but if you still want to ask, now's your time, but it's going to be a quick answer. Yeah. I've been thinking about, I think it's about my whole family healing. Yes, it's connected. You helped as revealed deal rooted trauma. Yeah, rooted trauma. You know, it's funny. We all have levels, unfortunately, of PTSD and trauma. This planet is like, yes, Diamond Net. Thank you. You found her. Check her out. She's incredible. Like, she really knows her stuff about shadow work. She's a bit monotone when she teaches, but she's incredible. So everybody else as well, check her out, Diamond Net. She has a YouTube channel, and I really appreciate her downloads and stuff. All right, well, I don't see any more questions, guys, which is okay because I need to eat and do other things. Thanks for hanging out. Is she on here? The Diamond Net, you mean? She's on YouTube. You can find her on YouTube. Yeah. No, you just... Oh, on the Insight Timer. Got you. God, it took me a minute. No, I don't think so. She's on YouTube, so you can... Yeah. Find her. She's cool. Cool, man. Oh, and I found some other person. So if you guys follow me on my YouTube, by the way, I'm going to start doing, like, watching other people's videos and commenting. But I found this woman from Australia who is... blowing my freaking mind. So you know, when you, for those of you who are fans of Teal Swan, when you first see her stuff, you're like, wow, opened up a whole new portal. Well, I found somebody else recently. Can't remember her name because I'm terrible with names, but the shit that comes out of her mouth is incredible. Like, it's just so wise and so helpful. So I'm going to be sharing that. So yeah, so follow me on all the socials and stuff. I make sure to share everything that I learn and that I try to pass on, because that's why I'm here, because we all need to heal and help one another. But I am meditation_channel. So if you go to my Instagram, or if you go on my main page here, it should take you to all of my stuff. Teal Swan's not on Inside Timer. she's good. She doesn't, she's got her own thing. People go and chase her. Thank you. Yeah, no, guys, I so appreciate it. Hey, my rat now is eating. Can you hear it? She's drinking water. Hey, Munchkin. Hi, George. Do you want to come and say hi? No? Okay. Oh, love the name. All right, guys, so I'm going to close out. I just want to take a moment to say thank you so much for hanging out. I'll be here next week unless something comes up at the last minute and I can't make it. You'll obviously know because I'll cancel, which I hate doing, but sometimes I book jobs and I can't make it for whatever reason. But I'll be here, and I so appreciate your energy, your time, your vulnerability, the community, everything that we've been doing here. I'm so, so grateful. I've also noticed that my Insight Time is growing really fast, which I am so thankful and grateful for that. Honestly, it's been such a blessing to share this and connect with you guys. And you know, I'm getting like 500 new followers a month now on Insight Timer, which has been such a heartwarming and beautiful experience, because I've had my YouTube channel for a while, but this seems to be just growing. And I think it's because I get to connect with you guys one-on-one, and I get to talk to you, and I get to really get to know you, energetically, at least. Hopefully in person one day, you never know. I'll be doing retreats and all that sort of stuff will be coming up if you're in Los Angeles. I've got online courses. I've got so much stuff out there, you guys. So follow me, check it out. And above everything else, just thank you. Just thank you for being here and for seeing me, because I see you. Little bubbles. But you know what I mean. All right, guys. Well, sending you love. And as always, have a magical day. I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.